charge chat holiday edition, I guess. We're in
I think
between
Nobody has any
ones in
holiday stuff
America,
on.
at least.
Game of the Year edition.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
some award ceremonies recently. One we won't count as being a real, and then the one we're all used to. Slowly coming out of the cringe cave, they're realizing every year what's cringe and what they should stay away from, at least.
Are they?
It seems that way. Wait, did we just go down?
No?
Wait, what?
Okay, we're good.
Why do you think that?
My screen, my fuck up. But it seemed like when we first started getting these Game Award ceremonies, it's always been kind of the most cringy stuff we've ever seen. We try to get away from this whole like basement dwelling persona, and we're like, no, games are for real now. Like it's an actual form of entertainment. Was GTA 5 the highest grossing entertainment media ever? So I mean, it's here to stay, and it looks like we're finally taking it serious in awarding it, and it's hard work.
You sound like you work at IGA.
There it is. Okay. So,
I forgot to go and push the talk.
we've got the big names every year. I think it kind of ties into what we were talking about last week, and single players, and stories being what we want. Because I'm looking at Game of the Year, and it's single player.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All of them.
It's not Fortnite, it's not PUBG. They're big games, but they're not being nominated for this. So I don't know. I think it's interesting to look at kind of Game of the Year lists and see what people are picking out. You get the lists that are definitely top seller lists that they're trying to say are Game of the Year, but then you look at stuff like this where they're trying to actually acknowledge, a little bit more polish and design. Kind of more movie-like, I guess I would say. It seems like they definitely want to recognize it a little bit more for the art.
I think it's kind of like, yeah, like definitely the artistry. Like PUBG is fun, or Fortnite is fun, or Overwatch or whatever is fun, but a lot of effort went into these single-player games, and it's basically like a book or a movie, like. Where PUBG is not that. You make your own fun.
Yeah.
Basically, you go on there and you do the same repetitive things over and over again, try to improve your skill. But games like God of War, Red Dead, like you're not necessarily trying to improve your skill. You're just trying to advance in the story. And these people put a lot of work into some of these games with the voice acting and the really intricate story with the twists and turns that you don't expect, or maybe you do expect. I don't know. I don't expect them. And it was cool.
I mean, yeah, you just gotta look at the nominees for the Game Awards, and I think there's only one that's basically multiplayer, which I think would be Monster Hunter World.
Hey, demons.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they're all single player games.
Rightfully so. I think so.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, Red Dead's online thing, but I mean, I guess we're not really counting that.
Yeah, isn't it? Is it still like soft launched, or is it like fully out now for everyone?
Yeah, it's like still in beta, I think.
It's like
Yeah.
completely available to everyone, but yeah, it's technically in beta at the moment.
Yeah.
Likely to change.
Yeah, I mean, has anybody tried it here? Because I haven't.
I haven't.
I don't have PlayStation Plus. I might get it. I'll get it soon.
Speaking of the other game of the year, or nominee, Celeste.
Oh yeah.
Don't know if any of you know about that game or not.
I didn't play
Just
it.
doing a little bit of background research on it, just to get some more hits and whatnot. It was a prototype of it that was released in 4 days. People loved it so much that they decided to expand it into a full release.
Nice.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, if it's the game I'm thinking of, because it's the one where it's a lot of dashing, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I've never been a huge fan of 2D platformers, so not really a game that I would pick out, but sometimes you see them and they definitely do something that changes, I don't know, the way you look at a 2D platformer. Fez was another good example of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never played platformers either. I don't know. I'm bad at them. Like, I think
The
that's
other
why
thing
I
I'm
don't like
noticing
it.
is it's AAA minus Celeste. It's AAA. So is it still kind of big budgets that are gonna dominate this? I mean, you look in these smaller like best game direction, you get A Way Out. It's still EA, but it's a game that didn't have a huge budget behind it. It was just kind of released and they will let whatever happen. But everything else is a lot of AAA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the more money you put into something, the better it has the potential to be. And yeah, Celeste was, you know, the one outlier there, but I think people really enjoyed Celeste, and I didn't play it, but I know it got a lot of tens, and it was critically well received.
Do we know what made it different? Like, what was different about Celeste than like other games? Like, why did that one stand out so
Really
much?
hard.
It was just hard. Well, then that sounds like I really would hate
mechanic
it.
of it, like I think there's almost no just like standing. Like it's a lot of dashing to get through a level. It's not. I don't know.
That's a lot for me.
Look up a video. Show a video.
Let's see.
Not only that, but it had a lot of story going behind it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. But the
I'm gonna try to look it
people really
up.
latched on the story, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I
What
think
was
at
the
the end
story?
of the day, a lot of these big
I don't even know.
developers are gonna do what's profitable. Obviously, that's why a company, you know, does what it does. It seeks to make money, and I think they're starting to realize that they need to serve both markets. You know, the multiplayer, what people want in that sphere, and also the need for a strong narrative, the need for a strong single-player experience. Like we just, you know, like we discovered last time. I don't think that that's died. And I think that the AAA, you know, industry is starting to want a kind of Sopranos type product to show to people, like something that can bring back this, you know, this medium as a viable product for everybody. So I think that's why everybody wants a good single player game now.
I would agree.
Well, this gameplay looks weird.
Yeah, I mean, right now, big multiplayer games, they're kind of flooding up the market. Sometimes it's just not what people want to play. They want to do something on their own for a little bit, just something to relax down and play, which is why I think, you know, so many single players are hit categories this year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
I,
mean,
had fun with them.
Also, the caliber of single player. I mean,
Mhm.
this is a year where we
Yeah, I
had,
forgot to push the talk, but it's okay.
I don't know, Far Cry, God of War,
Yeah.
Red Dead,
Detroit.
Detroit, Spider-Man. I mean, tons and tons and tons of huge games, and only the best of the best got to rise to the top, I think.
I mean, it's definitely a lot of the same games over and over. So, I mean, I don't know. That seems kind of, I wouldn't say worrying, but we also looking at release dates. The bigger names are always later in the year, and I mean, we all know it's part of the Christmas push. You want to sell the game during the holidays, but at the same time, it's like you have the end of the year stuff. You stay relevant, you know, like.
It's closer
I mean,
to the time of the
Odyssey, I
award.
guess, Odyssey was what? It's pretty. No, wait, I'm thinking Origin for some reason. Odyssey was pretty recent. I mean, I think it's all been within the last 2 quarters. Not really much coming from the first 2 quarters of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were like a couple big games in the beginning of the year with like Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
When did Detroit launch? I think it was a March game.
Yeah, that was a little
That's
early.
around here.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah.
The Forsaken
Further
expansion for Destiny
Oh,
also
yeah,
was
yeah.
an early release.
That was in September, I believe.
EA's always seemed to like have, or they seem to have established October, November as a good time for Battlefield, because this time
Yeah.
it was November. Last time with Battlefield 1, I think it was October. They seem to like that later, sort of later portion of the year release date.
But I mean, EA was gonna launch Battlefield, I believe, this same day Red Dead launched, but
Yeah, and they blamed
Big
it on
mistake.
the RTX thing not being
yeah,
ready.
yeah, they were like, just kidding, guys. We'll do it
Cowards.
in November.
I mean, it's a smart business move, at least. I can, like, sympathize with them on that. And I do understand kind of why they released them later in the year. It's the same reason that, like, artists release their albums closer to awards or closer to whatever, because something comes out way early and everyone kind of forgets about it because of just the way media is, like, taken in. Everyone kind of, like,
Yeah.
binges it or is all about something, and then they get themselves tired of it just from kind of overdoing it, like overkill.
Yeah, there's definitely a recency bias, but I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't really, as far as the games are concerned, we didn't really see that with Game of the Year for the Game Awards because I don't know if we want to jump into that, but God of War took it from Red Dead,
Oh, yep.
and I think Red Dead was the favor going into the game.
I think it was also riding like a new release wave. I mean, after playing it, I mean, I'll say it, not, I don't know. Even the little bit of God of War that I've played, it's more engaging than Red Dead was. I was telling Amanda, Red Dead, it's I don't want to say overhyped, but like Rockstar games have this habit of they go, oh, these little chores in the mission. Instead of making it a cutscene, it's now gameplay. Like, okay, I get it to a point. It's kind of immersive. Like, I'm actually doing it. Like, there was one mission we had to blow up a bridge in Red Dead, and they literally made you get the 2 crates of dynamite from the wagon in 2 trips, instead of just making it like a cutscene real quick and we can move on. It legit gave you 7 minutes to fucking walk 50 feet and deliver dynamite crates. I'm like, this
And like
isn't
shimmy it
gameplay,
down the
this is
side, I
padding.
remember.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, come on. Like, at a certain point, you're padding for time, and it's like, I get it. I don't want to watch it per se. That's not a game I want to watch. Like Detroit, you watch, and you're supposed to. It's made that way. Red Dead isn't. I wanted to shoot shit. Like, I wanted to shoot shit. I wanted to ride a horse. I want to hunt stuff. Like, I don't want to carry boxes and hay bales. Like.
That is
Let's
kind
make
of an
sure-
interesting conversation. Like, how real do you want it? Like, in the next GTA, are we going to be filing taxes? Like, at what point
Nah,
does
we're
it
criminals.
become too much?
Does anyone have the stream open and like, or like
You're
echo
probably
or something?
hearing me and Amanda's mic, unless it's literally everyone.
Wait, what's the issue?
I don't know. I think there's
No,
echo
there-
somewhere.
I'm not hearing any echo. I don't think I
It might be Garrett's and mine's. Sorry for the echo.
Alright, you want to push the talk?
I'm on push to talk, but my stream isn't. I don't know how to do
yeah.
that. But I can mute it when I'm not talking, but then that's really confusing.
Weird.
Anyways, sorry to interrupt.
That's fine. That's fine. I
Alright,
gotta
so-
say, my favorite going in was Spider-Man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Spider-Man.
I didn't play it, but I'd really, really like to. I probably will, and then I might change kind of my answer for what I think the game of the year should be, and or what I think it was for me. But I don't know. I think I'd probably like Spider-Man a lot just from watching the little bit of gameplay that I did. I think the gameplay looks really, really fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I played not much of it, like a couple of hours of it on a friend's PlayStation, and I really, really liked it. It was so friggin' fun. The controls are good. The controls are easy to learn, but not so easy that it gets boring with time, you know?
Yeah.
And the progression of the game is interesting. The way the open world works in your favor or against you, and sometimes it makes it feel like a real world. You know, it's excellent world building.
But did you have to file taxes? Does Spider-Man pay taxes, or is he tax
Almost.
exempt? I feel like he would be tax exempt because he's like a vigilante slash
I feel like
hired
he
by
would
the.
just drop his shit off. Like, as complicated as it might be, he just has somebody that handles that.
He shows up at H&R Block
Exactly.
like,
Put
hey,
this like over here or somewhere.
Mary Jane files the taxes.
can you help with my itemized deductions, please?
Yeah, he could deal with any villain except bureaucracy.
Exactly.
Except the IRS.
The IRS.
So that brings up an interesting question, though. Did anybody remember like the Spider-Man games from like the GameCube, like long?
Oh
time?
hell yeah!
What? How does it compare to that? Because that's the last Spider-Man game that I played, probably 2
So-
years ago.
As far as this one goes, you know, I really like, you know, the gameplay and the story was really well in it. But as a giant comic book fan myself, seeing the introduction of a bunch of different suits that are thrown in throughout all the different comic series, and all that, the different powers that they have, because each suit has a different power that goes along with it, which, in my opinion, was a really good design choice with that. Like, you couldn't really stack powers on. It was just whatever suit you were wearing had one specific thing that it could do.
Okay, I got you.
That sounds
I mean,
cool.
I love the game, but I think I had my own issues with it. I think my number one issue was the combat. As someone who played the Batman Arkham games, I don't think the combat in Spider-Man stacks up to it. Like, they definitely in Spider-Man they definitely push at this notion of like you're not supposed to be getting hit. You're supposed to be dodging because Spider-Man's not this brute like Batman. But
Refrigerator.
I found it hard sometimes. I
Yeah,
think
was
the
it
game also-
challenging?
yeah.
It looks
I think so.
hard, but it looks fun. But then again, like, I don't play anything with a controller now, so maybe I say that now and I'm gonna be like, this shit sucks. I just want to watch someone play
It was
it.
like super
That's
jarring.
true.
That's actually a lead in to another thing I wanted to talk about. Is you look at this list and it's console titles. I mean, they might be multi-platform, but they're console titles. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
The PC, I don't know. The PC Master Race is I don't know. It's underappreciated almost in the gaming community
Yeah.
still, which seems kind of ridiculous because it's been growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
And even at, I don't know, it's just
A lot of people don't want to invest in
it's still a
it.
popularity contest.
Yeah.
But I guess it always comes back full circle to the whole, like, it's a business argument where it's like money, 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 you know, like.
Let's be real though. I mean, everybody who buys a console buys it for gaming. Not everybody who buys a PC buys it for gaming.
That much is true.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm
and think
saying,
about
like,
it, more
PC
people
gaming.
have consoles than more people have consoles to game than they have PCs to game. I think that's actually a true fact. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
But most people that I know that play video games regularly-ish, and I say ish, I think those who play video games a lot usually end up getting a PC. But if they
Yeah.
play video
Yeah.
games maybe half as much as the average, I feel like they have consoles because they're not going to invest in a PC just for video games. I don't know, but maybe
think
that's just
that's-
me thinking.
I would
the
agree.
strength of the two platforms. Like, the console is not. I don't want to say. I mean, obviously, if you play games on a console exclusively, you are, you know, a member of the community 100%. But if you are an enthusiast, if you care more about your games than just on this sort of tertiary basis, I think there is a tendency towards the PC platform just because of the dynamicism of it and all the stuff
Yes.
that you can do with it.
Yes, I would agree. One example of the argument that some people get a PC but not to play is I got my PC not to play. That the fact that I game on my PC is actually a secondary thing. It's actually a secondary thing. It was not the main objective of it.
Yeah, like
bought
I
my
wanted it for
PC
art.
editing.
Yeah, I wanted it for art, but I also wanted it for gaming because Garrett gamed on PC, and I was like, oh, I'd want to play with you sometimes. So he kind of convinced me, and then I was also like, I kind of need one for art too. So I'm right there with you, Kanaz. It's like
Yeah.
more for work than it is for play, but now it's more for. I use it more for play like than I do for work.
Same. It
They're
became my
modular.
main console, you know?
That's why I have a disco
Yeah,
PC. You
I
do
think,
have a disco PC,
going back to the
zombie.
question, like, I think Sony just had a really good year. It's
Definitely.
one of the main reasons why there's so many console titles on that list. And is Detroit on the list? I don't.
Yeah.
A couple
Well,
times
it has a couple.
Sure.
yeah, it has a few noms.
What did it win? Anything? Nothing?
It has one for Connor as a best act or
Yeah.
and then
Best
in
narrative
narrative.
nomination.
Yeah.
Best game direction.
Best game direction.
Really,
They did a really good
really
job.
It didn't win though,
upset
did
it
it?
did not get hit for score. Really upset with that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, damn.
The musical score in that was, in my opinion, one of the best.
Yeah.
I think just in general, like there weren't
Damn.
a lot of big PC games to come out this year, or if there were, they came out like delayed. Like no Red Dead on PC, no God of War, no Spider-Man,
Doom is
Detroit,
supposed to be
obviously.
next year.
Yeah, like what did
yeah.
come out on PC this year? Can we name them?
Monster Hunter came out, but it was
Yeah.
delayed by
Yeah,
some
one
months.
Mm.
So,
There's
Hey, Baker.
Odyssey, there's Monster Hunter, there's Celeste, Forsaken for Destiny 2.
Yep.
yeah.
I'm just going through the list, seeing which ones are for PC.
Yeah.
Life is Strange 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
I heard that was good.
I'm not a big Life is Strange guy.
Yeah. Nino Kuni 2.
Yeah, like but some of these like Monster Hunter, that's multiplayer mostly right now. Does it have?
Yeah.
It has a story, I think it does, but like Everyone plays a multiplayer.
Yeah, it has a campaign, but you can do it online.
Really?
It's not really effective.
Assassin's Creed
In
as well.
fact, the monsters are easier single player than they are with multiplayer.
Okay,
Really?
but can we talk about something serious though? What the fuck is Starlink Battle for Atlas?
That sounds familiar, but I don't know what that
That
is.
was a.
It's on here, but I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
And it's a Ubisoft title.
I was cold.
It was
Yeah, it's like a space simulator, space fighter thingy. They actually partnered with Nintendo because the thing is, they sell you the game and they sell you a figure you can place on your controller with the ship and the whole thing.
That's
And
so
they partnered
cool.
with Nintendo to have the R-Wing from Star Fox, and you can actually have it on the Switch.
That's so
You
fun.
get the DLC with Star Fox and everybody.
That
Yeah, I think it
sounds
was
awesome.
Another stab at the Toys to Life kind of thing, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever managed to make that work.
But it's like it's a cool concept. I kind of dig it, where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
getting like a physical item that works
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
game.
Maybe.
But like this, it's like you're physically building a little ship
think it's in
model
the
on
wash.
your table and then getting to put it in. That's kind of cool.
That
Like,
sounds
but-
badass.
Yeah, it's cool. I think one of the best applications of it was when they threw out the Lego Dimensions game, where you could buy Lego sets and incorporate it into your video game. That was really cool.
That is cool.
But other than that, I mean, the best most known case is the Amiibos.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, those blew up. Sad I wasn't
Yeah.
young enough to play with those and it'd be socially acceptable.
I remember my sister used to get Webkins. Those were like you buy a little stuffed animal, but it's also like a little Neopets game. You just get a code with it when you buy the stuffed animal to like get that pet in this game. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. It might be like a little too old now.
There were so
Let's
many
just say
attempts.
all this
Nah.
is better than the Nintendo Labo.
Oh no, definitely,
That was nominated.
definitely.
Yes, it was. I don't know why, but it was.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a game?
God bless
Is
them.
that even a
I
game?
guess it comes with software, right?
It's what, $60 piece of cardboard?
Multiple pieces of cardboard.
Okay.
Cardboard that links to your game console.
I can't say shit. I spent a lot of money on Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day.
Oh shit.
I spent a lot of
Yeah,
money on a
true
bunch
that.
of random shit. That like I can't tell.
Clothes.
I spent a lot of money on toys.
I do.
Yeah, and
I don't know why.
That's why I think part of me wants the whole like the game and physical object thing to work so much because like back in the day it never did, and I would get into a new one, I'd be like, LOL, this sucks. Like after a couple of days it was totally irrelevant, and I just want to see that concept married with modern technology to make something truly like revolutionary.
Like the magic cards you can scan. I say bring those in. Make that real. Can we sign a
But I mean,
petition?
like-
We can start one. I'll go start one.
You got my signature, and I don't even play Magic.
Yeah,
It's
same.
almost like another form of microtransactions. There is the Toys to Life games.
Yeah.
And they cater to the
Eh,
younger audience.
they
so
do.
Probably just like a bunch of parents getting annoyed at their kids wanting this fucking toy. They're-
Especially if
No,
you
I
make
had-
it like a mystery thing where it's like you can't just buy the one you want. You have to like go buy
Ooh,
like a
that's the worst.
mystery
It's a
box
physical
shit.
loot.
Yeah,
That
that's
exists.
awful.
That exists. It's a real thing. That's how some of the
That's
webkins
fun
work.
with like the little Lego keychains and stuff.
Yeah.
Little tiny items like that. It's like $1.99, but like when you're like it's $15, you might get this cool little mini. That you might
Wasn't
get
that how those Hatchimal things were? Those aren't like microtransactions.
Oh, don't remind me of fucking Hatchimals. I just made a commercial for them.
no idea.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they're
Those
like these
things
little
haunt
toys.
my dreams.
It's like me and Domino's, but Kanaz's
I
Hatchimals are
hate them.
going.
Tapping on your window, at night.
I fucking hate those things.
Hatchimals, oh my god, they're great.
Oh my god,
Nah.
those are horrible.
But I
Can we
think some of those are
overall Furbies
mystery.
on the same topic.
Yes.
Oh my god, Furbies.
going over my head.
You're too young
Oh
to know
my God.
Furbies.
Furbies.
Okay, so what was everyone's favorite game of the year? I guess it didn't have to come out this year, but preferably. And you can't say Overwatch.
Okay. Let's divide this into two questions. What's your favorite game released this year, and what's your favorite game that you first played this year?
See, okay. I mean, I'll be the first one to say. Most of these games I didn't get to play yet. Like, I haven't gotten my hands on Spider-Man. I haven't finished God of War. Like, Odyssey's on my to-do list. So I mean, it's just like, as of right now, I couldn't tell you out of the ones that they picked, except for Red Dead that we've practically finished. God of War, I put some hours into to get the feel, but like I couldn't tell you the story if I like it or not.
Yeah, I most of the games that were on the list I have not played or have only like seen watching in somebody's stream, so mine would have to be games that I just happened upon this year. Like, they have nothing to do. They're not getting any awards except maybe for me, but nobody necessarily, like no one at the PR department's waiting for that shit to come out. So like if I give anything, that's gonna be it. It's just gonna be like from my limited experience. This is what happened.
I mean, I don't think they.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can say games that are on that. The game
On the
list.
list.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be honest right now, probably the newest game that I played was a October 2017 release, and that was the South Park, the Fractured But Whole.
Oh yeah.
You need to get on some of these.
Well,
I know.
Like I'm kind of the same boat where I'm still playing a lot of stuff from the end of last year. Like it's games that just it has such
Spyro.
replayability that I'm able to sit on it and put hundreds of hours into some of these games. Where
So,
God
what
of
are you
War, I
playing
don't
this
know,
year
you play God of
then,
War and
Garrett?
it's kind of one through.
Yeah.
What are you playing this year if it's not these new games?
Fucking, I put another like 150 hours into Total War Warhammer. Maybe within the last couple of weeks. I've been playing a lot of that. Squad is another game that I've been keeping my eye on for a while now. I definitely put in a lot more time to that game this year. They've been stepping it up with adding tanks and vehicles and stuff. Helicopters are going to be added soon. It's a game that it really is. I don't want to quite say one of a kind, but it takes a lot of the stuff that I like from other games like Battlefield and Arma and puts it together into something that's very niche and kind of hard to find as a game. It's open maps, vehicle, combined warfare that on a scale and design that you just don't see. Even Battlefield kind of doesn't quite hit this itch because it's a lot more tactical than Battlefield. Battlefield's very arcadey still, and like this is one where it's like you get shot twice and there's no kill cam. It doesn't point a camera in the direction you got shot from. You just drop.
Yeah.
You don't even know
And
how
I
many
don't know,
people you
it's-
kill until the end.
Yeah, like it gives you a feeling that a lot of shooters don't quite give anymore, where you get this hard learning curve, and it's rewarding when you start to realize like, oh, I'm actually fucking getting better at this. Rainbow Six, I've probably put another 150 hours into that game so far.
Yeah.
That was a game that it took a while to get to a point where I really liked it, and it's a hard game to get into, but once you understand it and actually take the time to learn it, it's so rewarding to like come out of a game with like a 10-2 KD.
I can only get into 1 hour of that game.
Yes, like Lewis is like, I couldn't even play it that long. Like, I have friends that try to play it and they're like, I can't. Like it's too much. I'm like, it's hard as shit. But I don't know. It's not niche because I mean that was nominated a couple times, but it's definitely a game that there's a game design that we're stepping away from in the shooter genre. People don't want hard learning curves anymore. You want accessibility, and I don't know. That's kind of something that doesn't deter me, but it kind of bums me out when I don't get these kind of like super hard games that they're fun to learn and take the time to get good at.
Yeah. So I played like all the games
Rainbow
on
Six
the
drinking game.
list, except Celeste.
All right.
I think out of them, God of War's got to be mine. It was just such a like a refreshing take on Kratos and his story, and I'm just really happy for like Santa Monica what they were able to do with the character, and
they want to know about chinchillas.
the game looks
and then
beautiful.
talk about chinchillas.
I fell in love with Kratos and Atreus all over again, or I guess not really Atreus, but yeah, I think Christopher Judge was able to like do things for Kratos that like I think weren't really like tapped into in the older God of War games, and yeah, I mean that game's got beautiful set pieces, like super beautiful moments, emotional moments. The ending was like, amazing. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but there's like a bomb that gets dropped figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, who the fuck dropped a bomb in like ancient Greece?
Yeah, what the
It's such
hell,
a
man?
740, like fucking B-29 comes in.
Well,
It's such a good game.
Motherfucker.
If anybody's watching that hasn't played it and you have a PS4, you should definitely pick it up on holiday
It's
sale
on,
or
it's on
something.
like the console list.
Yeah.
'Cause I still have a console, I just never played it. It's like a Netflix box at this point.
Same. That's what ours was until we went on like a
Same.
kick recently, and we just started playing like a bunch of the ones that like we had been wanting to play but haven't. So God of War is definitely on our list, and we got like probably like an eighth or so of the way in, so it's not like we have none of it played. So I can like the combat was fun. It was challenging for me, but only I think because of the whole controller thing. I don't know. I agree with kind of like what I've seen from the game so far. Like it was really interesting, and I really want to finish it. I don't know about the bomb that was dropped, but you know. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I
zombie.
think
None of us have played Spyro.
Hey,
he's gonna kill us.
Oh, I want to play
I
Spyro. I
don't
hope
know
it's
if you're
good.
muted or not right now.
What?
Oh, okay. I thought you tried to say something.
I don't know. I was like,
Okay.
I was like mining fingers.
Can you
But yeah,
ask
it's a
this
perfect
exactly
holiday
the same
game.
as the-
If you got like some days off around Christmas and you just want something to play and you have access to it, I definitely recommend it. I can't say enough good things about it.
I do agree it's a great game. I did finish it. I know what you're talking about, Thomas, with the bomb.
Yeah.
Holy crap, yeah. But I gotta say, my game of the year, out of the ones released this year, is gotta be Detroit. I loved everything about the game. Maybe it's because I'm more of a story-driven guy, but I fucking loved the story. I loved all the aspects to it, and I love how cinematic it looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. So I would say that's my game of the year.
So I get to be the Red Robin here and say that I don't own any consoles. No consoles at all. So, you know, a lot of these games I don't have access to.
Oh, I don't own any consoles, man. I played it at my friend's place.
Wait, what else did you play at your friend's
I'm
place?
bummed that
What two
shit.
games did you say you played? Spider-Man and which one?
I've played Detroit. I played Spider-Man. I played a little bit of Red Dead. A little bit of most of the games on the list, but I haven't played more than 5 hours on most.
Did you play through all of Detroit?
Oh, I did play all of Detroit. I got hooked.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Detroit
loved
was
it.
a standout game.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
So cannot steal my answer. But I like games
Sorry.
like that, so I'm just gonna like continue on that little rant. That game was so fun for me. I can't even express it enough. Like, I was ranting and raving about it, like literally to people at my work who don't even care about games. So there was that. But but the thing I like most about it, I think, is that even people who don't care about games would probably have a blast with that game. Like it's so
Totally.
it just brings me back to the days where I used to go to like the Scholastic Book Fair and get those choose your own adventure books, and it's like turn to page like 14 if you want to go down the hallway, and I'm like, I would like to go down the hallway. Oh god, I'm dead. It's like it's like that, but way more intricate.
Back up.
Okay, we're going back to page 12. Didn't mean to go back. So you can't do things like that, and at the end of the game I was like, oh shit, man, like some of my people died. Like I fucked up. I'm sorry, my dudes. I didn't mean to do that. So I'm like itching to like play it through again, but I'm waiting till I play some of these other games like on my list that I need to get played, and then I'm gonna go back and play it through again. But I had so much fun with that. Like we binge played it in like 2 days. Some of you even like were around for the stream, so
I was
like
gonna
you
say,
already
it was
know.
really fun to watch you guys stream. Like, I had a lot of fun watching everybody stream it. Like I've never played it, but I feel a connection with it just because I saw like so
Oh,
many
yeah.
people going through the story, you know.
Yeah, and like Tina's playing it now, but she's not, I don't get how she hasn't binged it a little more. She played it in like one session for like an hour and then like another session for like an hour, and I was like, no, like I played like 7 hours one day and the rest like the next day. Like I basically almost played it all in one day, and I had to tell myself, no, let's savor it. We're gonna play the rest tomorrow. So
It's good.
Well, she's playing Nier Automata, right?
Yeah.
So she's probably more.
no, she's not. She's switching between a bunch of different games.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Shout out. Rest in peace, Carl.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carl, dude.
Oh man, I guess
Damn,
I guess Carl could have just not died. That's what Thomas said. This is
I mean, I
spoilers,
think
by the way.
Push Phil.
He dies anyway, right? It just like depends on
I
where
think
you.
so. He just dies later.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Carl. Is just it just happens. Okay.
It's fact.
It can be a lot less traumatic for you if you play it out right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like a movie. It was beautiful. The music was beautiful. The story was excellent. It made you think. I love like dystopian like books and stuff, and like
Yeah.
near future that like gets all crazy and fucked up. Like I love that. So excellent. 100%. If the makers of Detroit are watching this right now, give me Detroit too.
They are.
Yep,
They
I'm sure they
definitely
are.
are.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was amazing. I loved it. And sorry, no, I have. Let me answer some stuff from chat real quick. I have not played Spyro. I have not played any Smash. And I did fully complete Red Dead 2 except for the epilogue. All right. Anybody else? Who's next?
Is any gonna? Yeah, I was gonna ask if like anybody's gonna pick Red Dead.
Is anybody gonna
I
what?
didn't, but kind of because of the
Like,
same
is anyone gonna
grievances that
pick it?
Garrett had. I didn't like the chore aspect of some of it, but the story was really like it was enthralling, and I wanted to keep knowing what was happening. But I felt like sometimes I felt like stalled out a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I don't care about this. I don't care about
Yeah.
chopping wood or bringing such and such thing to such and such person, and that probably was because I did like every side quest that I could find to an extent. So maybe I stalled myself out, but yeah, Red Dead was really good, but I have similar grievances with it. Detroit, I was happy with the whole time.
Honestly, I couldn't compare it to God of War just because I haven't completed God of War, but just the little bit that I played God of War, it felt more engaging in those aspects. Like I didn't feel like there was a lot of
Savor it.
downtime. Like the pacing of Red Dead at times just, I guess, like she said, it almost stalled itself out where you come off of this big gunfight or something. I'm like, I get you kind of want to slow it down a little bit maybe, and whatever. But I I don't want to literally do chores.
Let's
I don't
go
know.
fishing.
Yeah,
That
like,
really
it's-
happened. It was like a big gunfight. All this shit happened, and it's like, go show Jack how to fish. Oh, so and so came up and was like, I know that you guys are living around here, and I was like, oh, some shit's gonna go down, but then it just
Multiple bullet
didn't.
wounds. Like you gotta get out there and get some fishing.
Like,
I really I really enjoyed that moment in particular because
It was a cool moment.
yeah, like I think that like fishing definitely could have been like mundane, but like they tried to spruce it up with the character development and like
It was
splashing
just
narrative.
this exposition, like
Yeah.
that
and
glitched ass
Rockstar's
snake in the
always
boat.
done that, where it's like, oh, you guys have to travel across the fucking map, so we're gonna spill the fucking story right now.
To
So
keep
get
you
all
in-
these
in-
moments when you're traveling or doing some mundane shit where they just have a chance to talk. I guess it makes sense. Like when else they're not gonna just sit around and talk in this. But Jesus, like you can make cutscenes out of it. You don't have to like literally have me carry a goddamn box and set it down.
And it's like
Yeah.
plant dynamite, light dynamite, hide.
Let's do a good old throwback to one of the longest cutscenes I think I ever sat through in Final Fantasy X. If any of you all played that, there was like
long ass cutscenes in that game.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there was one point where it was like a 20-minute cutscene or something like that.
It's like a
Jesus.
movie, effectively. I mean, it's kind of like
Yeah.
a movie game before that was an accepted like
Yeah,
zeitgeist for modern gaming.
but that was
Yeah.
showing that you could have those extended cutscenes of being able to chill out that exposition while
Right.
still having the story move forward.
Yeah, because you came off that cutscene ready to play more. Now that you knew more about
Yeah.
the story and you had a little bit more motivation and context for what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Metal Gear was also
Ye-
towards
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dude,
Metal Gear was like one of the best games, like all of them
Yeah.
like together. Like it's you could watch that probably as a movie too.
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, pretty much.
I never played Final Fantasy now though, but I did watch some of it. It had really cool music, and everything looked really pretty. I'll give them that. I can't attest to the story because like I didn't follow it, so I didn't really know what was going on anytime I ever watched it when Tina was playing it or whatever. But it looked cool. I'll give them that. It sounded cool and looked cool.
Final Fantasy 10 on the PC, and that's something I've been highly debating on
The bricks down.
just because I enjoyed it that much back in the day.
Later this week, I'll paint the black and I'll do the fire.
Yeah, I was never.
Okay, sounds good.
I tried to get
I
into.
appreciate you guys
Final
handed
Fantasy
out.
several points, but
Alright,
Worried
I
about
might
the
do.
jealous
never
and
really.
stuff.
I only ever watch my girlfriend.
Turn-based combat kills me.
Yeah.
I don't really
Erica,
mind
is that
the
bye?
turn-by-turn combat base.
Bye, Erica.
I think some games do it well. Some games don't. I'm not saying that Final Fantasy doesn't, but
Alright, so I'm looking at one category that I look at it and just kind of go, well, we're gonna see the same fucking names year after year. Best esports game: CS:GO, Dota 2, Fortnite, League of Legends. Are we gonna see that shake up at all within the next like 2 years? Like,
I highly doubt it.
Fortnite
like
people were
that's a
so
list
mad that Fortnite didn't win though, and I think that's funny because how is it an
Yeah, fuck
esport?
Fortnite.
It's not a good esport at all. In my opinion.
Esport.
No.
yeah.
What
It's
is a
not
good
spectator
esport?
friendly.
Can you-
Overwatch one, right?
Yeah, I think so. hmm
Yeah, I did.
But what is a good
Fuck
esport?
yeah.
Overwatch did something that I kind of. I don't personally care to watch it. I think it's still a little too chaotic
Fortnite.
to follow at times. But they took feedback when they first started, and that's when they did the whole one team will be white and the other team will have colors. Like, I was like, that should have been something that always a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Overwatch League, and I think what they're doing with the league is really they're trying to make it user more friendly to the eye and
Yeah,
more friendly to the
exactly.
casual viewer.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six is actually taking a page from their playbook and doing uniforms like teams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's so smart. Like, it definitely helps whenever team colors can be associated with a character model to go, okay, that's that team, rather than letting them kind of have like the crazy skins that the game already has. I mean, it might suck if you play the game outside of that and you're like, I want to use this skin, but at the same time, like, a professional football player has to wear his uniform. He can't wear whatever shirt he wants.
yeah, and plus, I mean, you can monetize it and sell them, and you know.
As they've done. What was it? Either you watch the league and you get the little currency to get the skins, or you can like buy the currency. It's
And they're really expensive, and I won't say that I haven't bought any, but
You totally bought some. I don't know. I really like the whole like. I remember originally when I first saw. Sorry, the dogs are barking, so I didn't want to chime in at the time. But like, I saw Overwatch originally being played before I ever had Overwatch, and it was hard to follow, and I was confused. So coming from like an outsider's perspective, watching that game, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, I can't follow this. Like Rocket League or something, like, sorry, Rocket League or something, it's like car soccer. Okay, I can follow that. Like, you hit the ball into the net. I get it. But like Overwatch, I was like, all right. But then recently, when was this? Right before we went on our cruise for graduation, we were at like a bar or something, and they had
no, it was right after ESPN signed the Overwatch League, and they had a match on in the hotel room.
okay. So, but it was like
already on here.
and it
I think that was the
explained
grand
it.
finals.
It explained it ish. It'd be like, hey, like in this kind of map, like the goal is to take the payload from here to the, and I was like, wow, this is great, because my sister was watching it and she doesn't play Overwatch, and the colors and the explanation, she totally kind of like understood what was happening. So they did a really good job like simplifying it and making the colors stand out, and the way the spectating of it goes, I can follow it now, and I think that's why it won. Like, they did some shit to fix it, and it's actually really entertaining to watch now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that kind of shit kind of gets on my nerves, but I mean, like, I think it's a necessary evil for, like, bringing it into the more mainstream audience, with, like, because, like, even casuals, I don't think really understand what's going on,
Well, and if you can get somebody hooked into the game, you know,
Yeah.
by a simple explanation, they might become your next super fan once they understand what's going on. Like to me, when I watch like really high level competitive Overwatch, in my mind, I'm seeing a bunch of people with fucking fireworks running around screaming.
Yep.
I have no clue what's
Yeah.
going on at any of the time, but somebody that takes a real interest into the game might take that basic explanation and turn it into a really in-depth understanding of the mechanics if they have that kind of like initial push.
For sure.
I really like what they're doing with like really like trying to take the league and develop it.
Having good shoutcasters is also
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a whole nother
Yeah.
category
Yeah.
for the awards. I mean,
Yeah.
they're definitely trying to put esports on a pedestal at this point and go, no, we can take this shit serious. Like, check this shit out.
Yeah.
We have people that take it serious, try to make it a profession. Like, this isn't just, you know, a LAN party in someone's house anymore. Like, this is shit that's selling out arenas in some place.
I think it's just gonna keep growing. I think that we're just seeing like it's just on the cusp of taking off. I really think it's just gonna keep growing exponentially.
I would say we're past that. I think at this point,
It's
video
huge.
games are your like most dominant media format. I think, you know, even the Avengers
That's a
can touch
stretch.
fucking GTA 5.
Whoa, hold on now.
That's
You're,
still a
you're going
stretch.
into some territory there.
That's a stretch.
Avengers will never make the sales that fucking GTA 5 has.
Because it's
They will never-
$60 to buy a game and $10 to see a
And
movie.
They hit 1 billion like 5 years after release. Like it's a format that allows continuous income. So like it's going to just turn into a media format that it can change to what people want at that time. Like you're gonna be able to release a game and then later there's DLC that might be like, I mean shit, the original Red Dead had zombies. Like zombies were becoming a big thing and they did a zombie DLC because they were like, we can sell that shit. Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's
So I don't know. You can't do that with
that's how it
movies.
goes.
Yeah, I mean, is it gonna be a huge contender with other sports? Hell yeah. Like, I think so. Like, a lot of people
definitely.
would prefer to watch something that they can, like, I don't know, like, think about it. Like, if you on the weekends play soccer with your friends, and obviously you're not a pro soccer player, but you probably watch professional soccer and you try to, like, learn things from them. I feel like it's the same thing with video games, and I know, like, I don't do this, but I know a lot of people do. Like, Thomas probably, I think you actually have said that you do this. You watch, like, Overwatch League to, like, get strats and, like, see, like, what they're doing and then try to replicate it. And it's, like, so accessible and so easy for you to just hop on and try to do the same thing. And it's fun and rewarding. I think that's going to be a huge thing, like, for a bunch of different games. Like,
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've definitely learned a lot by watching the league and you know strats, compositions to run, where to position, where you know how certain strats are run. So
You got fucking contacts in the league.
Exactly.
well, I wouldn't go
that's
that far,
true.
but yeah, it's a fun time.
Like-
I really enjoy watching it. I can't wait to start for season 2 to start.
But, like, okay, so Overwatch 1, but, like, what other games could be contenders? Because Garrett was saying, like, oh, it's the same games like always. Like, what else?
yeah.
What else is a good esport that you think, like, should have been up there? Or do you think, like, nothing's in the works yet? Or...
Well, I mean, there's other games that I could say might be up there just to switch things. So like, I probably would have pulled Fortnite out and put in Rainbow Six.
No, definitely.
Rainbow Six wasn't in there at all?
No, it was in for something else, like
It was, I think,
the
best
actual
multiplayer
continuous
game
game
or
or
something
something
like that.
shit.
Yeah, best continuing game, ongoing game.
Yeah, so I mean, it got nominated for some things, but
I thought
I
that
don't know,
esports
they-
was huge.
well, that's what I'm saying. And like Fortnite's esports,
It's not
don't-
huge, I
I'm
didn't
not
think.
familiar with it like at all. I don't
Nah.
think any of us are really into the game, so a little
going
biased.
back from that, even out of Fortnite, putting in Rocket League.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
that's
kind of stuff.
like
That has
on
a
ESPN
strong
sometimes.
following.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on like cable and shit, so
And-
I would think that should be up there. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna see these other names rotate out. That's my biggest concern. It's like I get that you want to like you want to kind of tip the hat towards esports and bring attention to it, but like categories like this, year after
Yeah.
year, are gonna have certain titles that stick around for more than 1 year, and
Yeah,
then don't
I mean-
drop off until there's.
Well, they have to. I mean,
How many years has League of Legends been in a row?
I think that's going to start falling off soon because Dota popped in this year.
Well, like even CS:GO, like how fucking long is CS:GO?
Oh my god, it's like as old as me almost.
Yeah.
Not really, but
CS:GO is like
People were-
never gonna die.
people were playing that when I was in high school.
If anything, Fortnite is a new contender in that category.
It is.
I've never
Yeah, I
seen
don't-
a Fortnite esport event, so I can't really knock it. But the fact that I've never seen one either,
Kind of also speaks for it.
because I don't look for
Yeah.
League of Legends esport events, but I see them. I don't look for Rocket League esport events, but I see them. Like that's not something that I go out of my way to see. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
where are they hiding? Fortnite is so huge. Like, why can't I find an esport event? I think people just want it to be like Fortnite everything, yay, Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah, that-
overall,
That's the thing. There's a Fortnite epidemic right now. It's impressive how much you hear about Fortnite nowadays.
It's going to
But
go
then-
bankrupt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't see an event for it. You know, I have never came across a Fortnite tournament or anything like that, but I come across Rocket League, Dota, League of Legends,
Yeah.
CS:GO tournaments all the fucking time.
Apparently, there's a Fortnite con, or so I just learned.
Right.
And that might be where
I mean,
some of these events stem
Does
from.
everyone just dance in a circle? Is that all they do?
it's like a
Maybe.
normal con, except
No,
this
they
is Fortnite.
they jump off a moving bus, man.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I've seen
Paramedics are standing by.
the org Envy, which owns the Dallas Fuel. Like, they have a Fortnite team.
Mhm.
Oh, God.
So, like, I've kind of seen Fortnite stuff, but I think Fortnite, the esport, was a direct result of how big Fortnite was. Like, all the
Exactly.
org owners were like, "All right, let's get a Fortnite team. We gotta cash in on this."
Having a Fortnite like competitive team at this point is like having a fidget spinner. You get all the use out of it until it just becomes completely irrelevant.
Yeah. And I know at TwitchCon they had a Fortnite tournament. I know, but I thought that was just because like one of the biggest, like a few of the biggest Twitch streamers play Fortnite, so I thought it just was something that stemmed from that, but I guess not. I guess I'm just maybe old. I don't know.
I'm sure Ninja was there and had something to do with it. So,
Yeah.
He was voted
Yeah.
like Player of the Year. or some
He was.
stupid
He
shit.
was Streamer of the Year.
Yes, he was.
Oh man, I voted for Kanaz, but it didn't happen, so I'm sorry, Kanaz.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't even nominated.
we tried.
I got one vote. It was
Check your
man.
mail.
Yay! You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, yeah. Anyways, so the whole Fortnite thing, Garrett had thrown up earlier in the week in our Discord about how 2Milli of the Millie Rock Dance is planning on suing Fortnite over the dance.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
Such a-
Brandon was a psychic.
such
I don't
a
know how that
bad-
You're
happened.
gonna waste a lot of money.
Bro,
So he's not gonna win.
he doesn't understand how much money this company has.
Yeah,
to
they
just
have
pay
armies
his
of
ass
lawyers on
first.
standby.
Well,
Is-
it's,
yeah.
it's everybody who has something stolen from that. I mean, there's certain tiny moves, of course, that, or like certain phrases that you can say, or, you know, certain tiny things. But think of it this way, if somebody was to recreate a ballet, you can get copyrighted for that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I was reading up on this.
I read that up, Garrett. That face is null and void.
I think there's a
That's like someone choreographed it. You just kind of like doing a dance in your rap video, kind of just on the spot. Like, if you do like a whole piece and like that's your art that you're selling, then okay. But he's not selling dance moves; he's selling music. So I don't think he's gonna have too much ground to stand on there. Because like I get what you're saying, but like about a ballet is a whole production that sometimes has original music too. Like I don't know, it's. I see it differently, and
Is
I
the
don't think
rap
that's
that they're
the
doing it to or whatever original music itself?
It
That
is.
is, but is the dance designed for directly to go with the song itself? Like obviously, like Soldier Boy had his, like we had the whole early 2000s like
Oh,
dance
yeah.
thing, but even that's still something you saw everywhere. No one was doing it, but now it gets put in a video game instead of someone else doing it in their music video, and all of a sudden you want to chase them for legal reasons. Like
He's probably
I
just
don't
doing
know,
it to be
doesn't make
relevant. Like he's literally probably just doing it not to win because he knows he probably won't, but now he's relevant again ish. Like all these kids that
Yeah.
I don't know, it could be just mediated out.
But here's the thing: he's not the only one. There's been plenty of complaints from other artists who have complained of Fortnite basically stealing the dance moves. Now, here's the thing: you cannot copyright a dance move. You can copyright a whole choreography, and if they're stealing from one piece of the choreography, that can be lead to a lawsuit.
So nobody owns the stanky leg.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're
Nobody
saying.
owns the stanky leg, but if the stanky leg was in the middle of a huge choreography, then it can be a reason
It's
for
like a
lawsuit.
snippet.
Lawsuit,
Right.
yeah.
So it's almost like a fair use thing, is what you're kind of saying, where it's like they didn't
Basically,
take
yeah.
this whole dance routine. They took one dance move and took it out of context to make it its own thing. It'd
Yeah.
be like
That way-
you. Go ahead.
It's transformative.
Yeah. But here's the thing: will these eventually, with so many complaints going on against Epic Games, and now a lawsuit coming in, is this in any way gonna affect the law so that they can copyright the dance moves?
No, see, okay, here's where I think the court's gonna go. No. Are you making money off of that dance move? No, you're making money off of the song. Is it actually damaging any income coming into you? Is that dance move being in their game making you lose sales for that track or anything? Probably not. If anything, it's gonna drive people to check you out. So I mean, I guess kind of like Amanda's saying, like it's almost an attention grab where he could just drop the fucking case before it goes anywhere. But
Yeah, of
Kotaku,
course.
Polygon, everyone else has already picked it up. So surely someone's looked this dude up, and statistically, one person's gonna go, "This guy's all right," and
Yeah.
goof it. So I don't think he's gonna have too much to stand on whenever it comes to trying to be like, "Oh no, that's my dance." Like this is damaging. Like back to the whole ballet thing. You steal a whole ballet, that's definitely damaging that ballet company's product and their income. Like you stole that whole shit. Like so now there's a direct competitor for that whole dance, and what they were selling is the dance. He's not selling the dance, is my overall point. He was selling the song itself, but he probably did it too.
And I think that's one of the arguments he's giving with the whole lawsuit, that they should actually credit the artist, at least put the song where the dance comes from.
or like where they
you
could
know?
download it, something like then they probably be like, sure,
Yeah,
this is great.
something to give the credit to the people who created.
I'm not against that. I think that's fair. If someone wants to be like, hey, you know, I came up with that, can I get credit? I don't know what they would have to lose to give them credit, but I don't. They're not going to give up the money.
Oh no,
They
definitely
want, they
not.
want
No.
direct income from it.
Yeah, he just wanted to dip his toe in the pool a little.
Here's a
I
decent
would.
point
I
I
would.
just
That epic money.
a point I just read on. What if the developers coded still frames out of the source material music video off of a copyrighted video?
No fucking way they
Yeah,
did that,
still, like, a
but that's
fair
kind of
use
fucked
thing.
up.
You're taking something and turning it into your own.
If the music video is
If they took him and his likeness, then I'd be like, yeah, that's obvious. But if you're taking the dance move and putting it to your own original 3D model, that's pretty. I see that as fair use. That'd be like, I don't know. You can sing a song at karaoke and not get in trouble for stealing someone's song. Just
It's because you sing it bad regardless.
yeah, like you're not hitting the same notes. Like it's different, and you're kind of able to get away with stuff like that whenever you kind of turn it into your own.
Plus, I'm pretty sure I've seen like videos of people in mocap suits doing mocap for the dances, or
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think that's
that
really-
was just a big point that I had read, and I saved that back
Yeah.
so that way I could bring it up here.
Yeah, I feel like
I can see. Go ahead.
I don't know, because for me, like, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, like, do covers of songs and do, like, dance covers of this or weird covers of whatever. Like, people take something from a lot of people, but they don't just spit out the same thing and say, this is mine now. And I feel like I kind of see where Brandon's coming from, where they're kind of like, they're not even saying that this came from anybody. Like, they're just like, this is a Fortnite thing that you can download. Like, give me your money. And it's kind of not fair for them to profit off of something that somebody else made. It's like someone taking my art and throwing it on a t-shirt and being like, this is mine now. I made this.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you slightly change something up or if you slightly make it a little bit different and it's still basically the same thing, you're good. So
Oh, do you mean like the tune from Under Pressure by Ice Baby?
yeah, that's a sample. That's got a sample.
Mm.
Yeah, music has already gone through this whole argument of, is that really original enough to knock it,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah.
I think it is just gonna kind of come down to we took it, made it kind of our own thing, and there's not really any damage being done to you. So
I would like to see either like the artist's name or something underneath.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's only fair, I think, in my
Go on,
opinion.
Bert.
Like I think that really at the end of the day they're saying, okay, you can pretend to sue us. That way you could draw up, as much, like, you can draw up all this controversy and then you can get your name out there. But I think realistically, like we just said, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get relevancy, and that's okay. I don't knock him for it, because I don't know who he is.
Going.
Yep.
Oh, that might be me. He said Garrett was like leaving the group like 40 times. So
Yeah.
that's what I left, like a bunch of old chat rooms of
Wow,
this. So
thanks
you
a lot,
guys
Garrett.
probably
Yeah,
getting
my
beats
eyes
for
were like
that.
fixated
Damn
on
it, Garrett. Now is not the time, Garrett.
Like, this is bad information. He's still here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't leave this one.
Don't leave this one. It'll mess it all up.
There's another one.
That was some cognitive dissonance.
Oh my god. But yeah, who else didn't tell us their game of the year? We stopped on someone. Thomas
I
said
didn't really
it.
pick out of their list. I just kind of threw out my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me and Kanaz had the same one. Bourbon, did you tell us yours? Do you have any
I think
game
me
of the
and
year?
Brandon are still left.
All right. Let us know. Let us know what you like. It could be something that you watched, that you played.
So like, as far as game of the year goes, obviously, like I said, I haven't played a lot of the big nominees, but dude, if I had to pick one, it would be Subnautica. And that was released I think in January.
Oh yeah, they did have like the full release more
Yeah.
recently.
They did.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like, I just started playing it. I just got into it, but obviously a lot of you guys know by this point I have like a tremendous pathological fear of the ocean. And I was streaming while this happened. Because like I played a lot of War Thunder, and that's been really good for me, like for me integrating into the community and my stream. But like Subnautica, I had a fucking moment on top of that pod. I'm like, that's a lot of ocean, and I'm gonna bitch out on Twitch. Like I'm a 25-year-old man, and I'm about to go cry in the fucking like closet. But interestingly enough, once I started exploring and once I started to get used to like the immediate area around my little pod, like I became comfortable with the situation, and like there were some concerns about me in that game. Like, as I was downloading and I'm like, this is the worst fucking idea I've ever had. This is terrible. It's gonna ruin me psychologically. But it didn't. There was only one time so far that I've legitimately lost my shit, and you can go back and watch it in the VOD if you want. I'll even tell you where it is. But it's a really awesome. Like, honestly, the world is so engaging and dynamic and exciting. It's allowed me to sort of get past that fear that I have and explore that and really like interact with that environment in a way that I always wanted to play Subnautica, but I've honestly, like, I'm not even kidding, I've been scared as fuck to do it, but I finally did it, and it turned out to be an amazing experience. And I'm gonna play the fuck out of that game, and I don't care because I'll be drunk when I do it.
You sound like me watching scary movies about dolls. Like, I have an irrational fear of dolls. And
Yeah,
I feel like you explaining you playing Subnautica anyway, because it's fun, is like me being like, I'm gonna watch Dead Silence even if I shit myself.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. That's just how it
Well,
goes.
the thing about it though is Subnautica is so good that it allows me to distract myself from the fear. Like, I'm so into the environment, I'm so into the exploration, like I want to know what's down there, even if it wants to kill me.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not real, so that's how I
Yeah.
handle
I
my
can turn the
shit.
computer off.
I'll try not to actually shit my pants though ever, guys. I'll try though. No promises.
What? So I did play. I forgot about this one. Forgot it released recently. Going through looking back. Did play Dragon Ball Z Fighters at a friend's house. Had a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun with that one. But like I said earlier, I haven't really played a bunch of games out from 2018, and I play a bunch of like little indie games now and then in the background. Playing a lot of Faster Than Light and Binding of Isaac. 2 games I really enjoy. I really like the concept of roguelike games. So, if I had to pick one, still Faster Than Light is one of my top games that I played.
That's one hell of a game.
It is. I've sunk quite a few hours into that one. And then just playing a bunch of Overwatch.
And what is Faster Than Light about? Pardon my ignorance.
Oh no, it's fine. It's pretty much it's like a green hopping. So different little scenarios that you go through. You're on a spaceship. You have to micromanage troops on different stations, and you have to try to kill the other spaceship. You of course have a certain amount of health. You can randomly pick up coins and fuel. You have to manage all that while going into your next sectors until you get to the final battle. And it's just, random shops
It
across
sounds
the way.
cool.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
I'd never heard of it. I mean, I've heard of it, but I couldn't recall what it was about or anything. So I was like, I want to know what kind of game this was.
All right, well, let's get out of here on this. Everyone doesn't have to be a game that came out this year. Give me your favorite game that you've been playing this year, and maybe a quick elevator pitch on why people should check it out. Even if it's super mainstream, if it's the shit you've been playing, tell us about it.
All right.
We'll start with Terrell.
I should have prepared for this. I guess I'll throw out.
No pressure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know fucking what Red Dead is, you're living under a rock. But, yeah, I think Red Dead. I think it pushes the medium forward, as the critics would say. Yeah.
It's
and
fun.
God of War, obviously, but we talked about that earlier.
But definitely Red Dead. It is fun. I can second that. Okay.
All right, what
who's
about
next?
you, Knaz? What have you been feeling lately?
Alright, so this year I've been playing a lot of this game. I had played it before. It came out in 2014. It's one hell of a game. It's probably the saddest game I've ever played. And it's one of the greatest strategy games I've ever played. It's called This War of Mine.
Yeah.
Great game.
What an amazing game, and I've been playing it a lot lately. Well, not lately, but in the past 6 months. Definitely pick it up. You're in the middle of a war. You have to micromanage a house. Try not to get all survivors killed, and try to make it through the war. It gets even more difficult every day as you have to scavenge. You have to protect your survivors. You have to actually steal sometimes and kill people sometimes, and that actually affects your characters. So it's one hell of a game. Definitely try it. And I tried the board game also, and that's hell of a game too.
I heard that game was amazing, and I've been thinking about picking it up. I might still do it.
You have a copy of it, by the way.
Where?
I had a gift copy of it, and then I gave it to you. So it's
Oh, you had a
sitting in your
gift copy?
inventory.
Oh, I didn't know that. I never saw it.
Well,
Damn.
damn it.
All right, well then
I've
I'll play
played a
it.
couple times.
All right, what about you, Bourbon or Amanda? Whoever's ready.
Whoever wants to go first. Terrell, you want to go first?
You can go.
Okay. So, let's see. Obviously, Overwatch. If you haven't played it, check it out on a free weekend. But that's not my answer. But I do have a lot of fun with that game, and I play it a lot. So, there's that. But be prepared for the salt. But I think, and this is gonna be a tough one because I think it. I like the button. This is gonna be a tough one because I think it still needs a lot of work, and I think I'm going to suggest that you check it out, but then also suggest that you check it out later when it's a little bit more ready. But Visage was really good, but it needs some work. Like the light mechanic was weird, and some people saw me play it on stream, so they're familiar. But for anyone who didn't, it's like a horror game about this girl. And I think you're gonna find out a little bit more because it seems like it gets you through the first maybe third of the game right now because it's in beta or something like that. It's
Super
like
beta.
it's early access. Like it's like really like, but whatever. It was really fun. It was really spooky. It was super eerie. The story was like pretty like spot on. It did a good job about not just being jump scares, which I can appreciate because I am a pussy with with jump scares. I jump very easily, and sometimes like games get on my nerves when it's just constant jump scares when there's nothing that scary. I'm just like, okay, cool, like that's not that scary. I want it to be like feel like you're in a horror movie, and this did a good job of that. It is a horror game. The light mechanic needs some work, and it was a little bit glitchy, but they're gonna fix it, I'm sure. And yeah, like if you haven't checked it out, and if you're not scared to check out a horror game, I say you check it out. It was super cheap. It was like $20 maybe. So yeah, that's what I'll go with. It made me super scared, and hopefully it'll make everyone else super scared if they get the balls to try it out. Whoever's next.
Like, interestingly enough, I'm trying to get away from first-person shooters in general because I just feel like there's a lot out there that I haven't tried. So I'm trying to like War Thunder and eventually, obviously playing more Subnautica. But a standout game for me anyway this year has been Hunt Showdown. Like Hunt Showdown is a really interesting case because it's an early access shooter. They usually run like shit, and Hunt Showdown used to run like shit. Tom could back me up on this. That game used to be total ass and impossible to play. And the dev team has done what a lot of people that develop these early access shooters can't do, and that is improve the game to the point where it's playable. Like, it's a really interesting game. It's got really interesting mechanics. It balances the survival and the hardcore element with actually letting you occasionally win and not feel like you're just going to get fucked over by God. Like, there have been plenty of times when Tom and I have been playing together that we have, pulled off some really cool shit and won, and we get to have that moment of being like, bitch, motherfucker. And then, like,
Yeah, I should have picked Hunt as my game. But
well, it's just a really awesome game. Like, if you're into that, if you're sort of like me and you're tired of early access shooter just being an utter disappointment, it's definitely a title to check out because it actually has legs and it has a dev team that actually know what they're doing, and they are really trying to improve their game. So that would be my
yeah, it's a ton of fun.
And it looks kind of creepy, like at certain points too, which I like. Like, I was really, I haven't played Hunt, but when the trailer got released, it looked so cool. I watched the trailer 3 times, so.
Yeah, the aesthetic is great, and like it's very, very tactical. Like, you really do have to know what you're doing. You really have to get like intuitive with the environment and understand what's going on. But it's not so ridiculous that like nobody can learn it. Like Tarkov, where like, where does this fucking sight go? Oh nope, I need the mount, and I also need the fucking screws. Like, no, it's accessible while still being hardcore. If that makes any sense.
It sounds fun.
I'll just say that like the sound design in the game is, I think next level. Like, there's just like, sound dictates so much of like what happens in a match because you may hear like some shit like jittering on the floor and hunters
That's
may
actual
be,
information that you need to take note of.
Yeah,
they're
they're
crows.
Yeah, and like you'll hear crows off in the distance, or there'll be some creepy ass like I don't know, what are those old like record player things like
Fast
going.
sticks. Fast sticks and wood.
That's sad for me though, because I
hologram,
can't
like,
hear well.
Yeah. But anyways, like yeah, it's a great game for early access game. It's really good.
Like, it sound super, super necessary.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Damn, that's like how I am so bad at Siege. Not only reason why, but I'm so bad at Siege because I can't hear my one ear. So it just like the spatial sound thing, like hearing something's coming from behind me, or my I don't hear it right. So it's like fuck. I always get bested. But yeah, sounds fun.
Hey, Brandon, what do you got? What have you been into?
Okay, so I already talked about FTL and doing that one Absolute Light, South Park and the Fractured Foothold. But we are going to throw out a game that a couple of us here have been playing pretty recently. Deceit.
Oh my god, it's so fun.
Yes, I have been really enjoying Deceit.
Such a great game.
Yep.
It needs a little bit of work, like
It does.
with just its glitches and stuff.
But for what it is right now,
Oh no, it's amazing.
I think it is a great game. I've been really enjoying playing that game with y'all, and you know.
The idea of it's there. It's
It
just
is,
they gotta
yeah.
polish it. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think right now that's currently the one that whenever everyone says, "Oh, we're going to play a game," when I see the seat, I think that's whenever I get the happy.
It's free too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think with a group of friends, it'd be.
Oh, it's definitely worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's especially like people that don't play it with their friends. I'm like, that's kind of like weird. Like I feel like
Yeah.
like it's not as fun with randoms because you don't know the ins and out of their personality, so you don't know when they're acting weird, and also you can just choose to not talk. But like when you're with your friends and your friends just not talking for the whole game, that's a problem. We'd be
Oh,
like,
you know
you're
what's up.
fucking guilty as hell. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Bear Boo said, "Oh, I thought Kanaz was just rubbing his leg the entire time. It's a dog. Why would you be rubbing?" That's so funny.
Yeah, why would I be running my leg though?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Vegas said, "I hope I can
Wants
get a
to go
Switch for
out because the
Christmas."
baby's out.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Well, I guess I'll close up with mine real quick. It's from a series that I've put way too many hours into. Total War Warhammer. Basically, it's the Warhammer universe set in the Total War gameplay, which is basically somewhat like Civilization if Civilization allowed you to go into more detail in the military. So you build armies and build up your cities and economy, and basically the battles are real time with thousands of units on screen. I don't know, there's no game that's quite like it. I've put hundreds of hours into almost every installment since I discovered it, and it goes from Rome to colonial to fantasy now. If you like strategy games, I think it's definitely something to look into.
It's unique, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so on that one, I guess we'll get out of here. It's about my bedtime. I know that.
A little side note: don't ever play Total War Warhammer 2 with Garrett because he'll just beat you.
That's not true.
It is so true. I tried
Dude,
so
I played
hard.
Total War Napoleon, and like by the time I ended my first campaign, like half my army was cannons.
Yeah.
Like it was mostly cannon. Then the enemy would inevitably charge like morons, and then we would just mow them down with grape shot.
Yep.
I like the
Yep.
quarrelers. I like the voice lines in all of the Total Wars. Whenever you click the units, they like respond, kind of like when you play like Warcraft or something. Yeah, they'll just be like, "For the Queen" or whatever, I don't know, for the Empire or whatever they say. I don't really know.
Hyped.
Yeah, I love it, and I love how
Good. I'm like sitting in the back in like a lawn chair with some Dr. Pepper, like y'all doing a great job.
Yeah, they're like, "Let us be about this," and you're just like, yeah, we're about this. But yeah, what was I gonna say? I think that's it.
I don't know. We were gonna get out of here.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here.
So next podcast is not going to be next weekend because I'm going to be at Holiday Matsuri, but I'm going to plug Holiday Matsuri real quick. If you're in Florida or surrounding areas and you are within commuting distance to Orlando, check out Holiday Matsuri this upcoming weekend. It's an anime predominantly convention, but
Jesus.
it's
We went last year. I've never seen so much cringe. in
it's
my
not cringy. It's an anime convention.
I'll put it. It's a lot of preteens still trying to find themselves.
Yeah. Bro, I got stories about anime.
Oh, like the first one, and
We
it's
gotta
a big
turn this shit
one.
off.
Anyway, before Garrett shat on it, it's
Yeah,
a fun
no, I
convention.
mean,
There's going to be
I'm
like
into
4 Overwatch voice actors there. If you're into Overwatch, you can check them out. There's like an Adventure Time voice actor there. There's like, I forget, a bunch of other shit. There's a lot of cosplayers. There's like a game room. There's a rave after. There's a nerdy Kingdom Hearts burlesque show. A nerdy Kingdom Hearts burlesque show. That sounds awesome. So,
There are gonna be so many drug dealers at this.
oh yeah, for sure. But that's okay.
Oh yeah, they're required. They're basically like contractually obligated to be.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Just walk up to like anybody that's not dressed up, wearing a backpack. Probably like,
Can I get a definition on burlesque? Sure.
It's like almost like stripping, but they don't get naked. So it's like,
They
have you
keep
ever seen them?
stockings and garter belts on?
And pasties and stuff.
Yeah.
music's a big part of it too.
Like Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, or no, that's a different thing. But maybe the movie
no,
Burlesque with Christina Aguilera. Have you seen that one?
Shares in it.
Shares in it, but she doesn't get naked. Don't be scared. But
Sounds like
but
something-
Christina
Okay,
Aguilera kind of
I would
does.
run away.
Fuck that, man. I want her to come out in some like snap pants and just like rip the
I believe in life after love.
Yeah.
Anyways, on that note,
I don't know where Brandon went, but
Yeah, we lost.
Brandon already took off. He was like, I'm out. Bye.
nah, he's coming back. He's gonna.
Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back just to tell us, hey, I thought you were leaving.
Oh no, I'm here.
Well,
Well, we're getting out of here. We're gonna go ahead and
Well, now Bennett's
let's say goodbye.
All right.
So yeah, not next weekend, but the weekend after. We'll kind of get back into the every other weekend schedule with this. You guys got lucky with the 2 weekends in a row thing.
That was my fault.
But yeah, we'll be back next weekend. I guess we're doing this on Sundays now. Is that what we're doing?
No, 2 weekends from now, but yes.
All right. So
Follow
Yeah,
us
so
on Discord
Sunday-
or get in Discord or follow me on Twitter and I'll post it.
Yep.
But yeah.
and
Oh,
until
bye,
then,
puppy.
I guess check everyone out when they stream. Come say hi.
All right. Bye everyone. Thanks for watching.
bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.